morning. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful morning. I'm Maya Capolino.
And I'm Madeline Edwards. Thanks for tuning in.
Olean General Hospital and Bradford Medical Center laid off over 30 employees this week. SBU-TV's Megan Burke has more.
I'm here at Olean General Hospital, where 16 employees were laid off just this past week, and a total of 30 employees were laid off between Olean General and Bradford Medical Center. Upper Allegheny Health Systems has released a statement regarding these layoffs. In the statement, spokesperson Dennis McCarthy said the layoffs were due to the hospital's financial performance not meeting expectations this past year. He said total losses for Upper Allegheny in 2018 are expected to be approximately $5.1 million. This is following a $5.6 million loss in 2017. The Olean Times-Herald reported that 31 employees represent about 2% of the hospital's 1,450 employees, with roughly 900 at Olean General Hospital and 500 at Bradford Medical Center. For SBU-TV, I'm Megan Burke.
Employees affected by the layoff have a chance to get a job in another department. That's according to the hospital. Interviews are ongoing.
Ever wonder what happens to your wastewater? SBU-TV's Brendan O'Leary went to the Olean wastewater treatment plant to find out.
Water, the lifeblood of any community. It quenches your thirst, keeps you clean, and yes, even carries your waste. But what happens after we've used it? Well, for the most part, it finds itself in a wastewater treatment facility. I'm here at the Olean Wastewater Treatment Plant in Olean, New York, where 125,000 gallons of St. Bonaventure water gets treated in the tanks behind me. The process takes 24 hours and is incredibly treacherous. Let's go take a look at how the process is completed.
So basically, wastewater treatment, in a nutshell, is we take everything that is done naturally in the environment and speed it up. So a treatment plant is just a catalyst for what happens naturally in the environment.
First, the water is brought through the main pump station, where it goes through bar screens and grit chambers to filtrate sedimentation in the water. Then the water goes through the primary treatment pump station, where primary clarifiers separate the sludge on the bottom of the tank and the scum found on the top of the tank. Then the water is brought to the secondary treatment pump station, where in basins, microbials on media planes eat away at other minerals and sedimentation that is left in the water. Next, the water is disinfected with chlorinators and released back into the Allegheny River. This is Brendan O'Leary, bringing you New Now Next, SBU TV.
With the final upgrades made to the plant last year, it's running at 110%. An Olean man is wanted by the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office for failing to show up to his court date. Tyler J. Harding was originally arrested in September for making meth in his home. Just last month, he was arrested again in Kilbuck for meth possession. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact the Sheriff's Office. Vaccines. Why are they required and what benefits do they have? Plus, the possible New York State split and what it means. We'll be back after the break. SBU TV, New Now Next.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. The idea of a New York State split has been around in the state legislature since 1991. However, there could be a possible state split coming to New York. SBU-TV's Teddy Caputo has a story.
An article released recently by Syracuse.com reported that Assemblyman Stephen Howley proposed a referendum to partition the state. If the split occurred, Westchester County, Rockland County, and the greater New York City area would be its own state, keeping the name New York. Meanwhile, the upstate region, including cities like Albany, Syracuse, and Rochester, would become a new state called New Amsterdam.
Hi, I'm Teddy Caputo, and I'm standing right outside of the Olean Municipal Building here in Olean, New York, where the mayor's office is located. Olean is one of many places here in upstate New York that could become part of New Amsterdam with a split. I sat down with Mayor Bill Aiello and other residents of the state to talk about how living in New York could be impacted by the state being split.
One of the things that that's said a lot is that the rest of New York couldn't support itself without the economic driver that New York City is. I don't know if that's true.
They would love it to be away from that. To have New York City already feels like its own different state.
Something that's good for our area might not be good for New York City, but they're in charge, so I think we would have more political influence.
Would it have an effect on Olean? Yes.
It wouldn't impact the resident of New York City, but for the residents of New York State, I have no idea what's going to happen to them.
A website called newamsterdamny.org has also been created to advocate for the New York State split. In the site's statement, it says, "It is equally unfair to both upstate and downstate residents to share a representative government. The vast differences in lifestyle and aspirations demonstrate that both downstate and upstate should have their own autonomous governments so as to more effectively serve its constituents." Bringing you New Now Next, I'm Teddy Caputo, SBU-TV.
The New Amsterdam website also states that it may be easier to split New York State into 3 different autonomous regions since congressional approval wouldn't be needed. For more information on the state split, go to their website, which can be found on our Facebook page.
Should you get vaccinated? How effective is a vaccination? I spoke to the Health and Wellness Center to find out the answers.
I have been an advocate for vaccination because it prevents serious diseases that is detrimental to the health of children and actually people of all ages.
I'm in a clinical room, very similar to any other clinical room, where you could go and get a vaccination. I spoke to St. Bonaventure University's nurse practitioner, Dr. Becky Seefelt, who told me that the state of New York requires students to get 2 doses of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, or proof of immunity. They also require 1 meningitis vaccination within the past 5 years, or a student-signed refusal form. She told me the influx of people not getting vaccinated had to do with a study by a British doctor claiming vaccinations linked to autism. This study was proven false, but brought people to question vaccinations. There has been a recent outbreak of measles in the country, but none reported in the local area. However, there have been cases of pertussis, also known as the whooping cough, reported due to lack of vaccination. Dr. Becky says it's important for people to remember the benefits of vaccinations.
The prevention of illness and also the spread of illness.
With SBU-TV, I'm Madeline Edwards. New Now Next. Becky says it takes a 95% vaccination rate to completely get rid of a disease.
On the topic of vaccinations, should schools require students to be vaccinated? How about students and parents that oppose vaccination? Roisin Coleman brings you the rest.
I never thought that my constitutional rights and New York State law wouldn't be upheld.
The Orchard Park School District denied a West Seneca mother's religious vaccine exemption request for her 2 daughters last week. Bonaventure parent and mother of 4, Anita Sarah, agrees schools should not require vaccinations. Anita's daughter, just 3 months old, grew extremely sick after receiving the DPT vaccine.
They told me to prepare for the worst.
Okay.
And I spent 5 days in intensive care.
I'm here in front of the university's health services. According to their website, the university does require vaccines. I talked to the Dean of Health Professions, who told me the adverse side effects to these vaccines are rare. Dean Pisano says not vaccinating your children is a public health issue.
The vaccination programs, they're good for all of us. We've been vaccinating children since the 50s and the 60s. Look what happened with polio. We pretty much stomped it out.
Anita says it wasn't the vaccine itself that caused her baby's sickness. It was a thimerosal preservative in it. Vaccines may contain preservatives that prevent bacterial or fungal contamination. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, thimerosal was eliminated from childhood vaccines in 2001. The requirement for preservatives in vaccines arose in the earliest 20th century after children developed severe and occasionally fatal bacterial infections after the administration of vaccines. For SBU-TV, I'm Roisin Coleman.
How much time do you spend on your phone? A new software update can tell you. Also, an amazing story about one of SBU-TV's students' recovery from a tragic accident. Stay tuned after the break. SBU-TV, new, now, next.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Staring contest! You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Bye-bye. Hi.
Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. This month marks the 8th anniversary of Bonaventure student and former SBU-TV reporter Nick Ventura's life-changing accident at Hollyman Ski Resort in Ellicottville, New York. Now, after rehabilitation and recovery, Ventura's love for the slopes has never been stronger. SBU-TV's Jocelyn Person has the story.
because I didn't want to let the accident be the definition of who I am.
A tragic accident that took place 8 years ago where Nick slammed his head first into a tree while snowboarding at Hollymont. Here at Hollymont is where it all began. After Nick endured a life-changing event, he's still able to come back to the place where it changed his life. Nick spent nearly 6 weeks in the pediatric intensive care unit at Women and Children's Hospital in Buffalo and 12 weeks at the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital for rehabilitation. Now Nick is back on the slopes and geared up to not only continue his passion for snowboarding, but to also volunteer as a ski patrolman.
I had difficulties learning how to re-walk and re-talk again and all that, but the second I strapped on the snowboard and I went down the hill, I remembered everything.
Two of the many rescuers who found Nick expressed their gratitude to see him doing well and back on the slopes.
So Nick's been volunteering on our Hollymont Ski Safety Patrol for 2 years now, and it's every time I see him, he's like a living angel.
Just glad he's here with us. God was on his side.
I'm back here, the place I love, so why not live it up?
Jocelyn Person, SBU-TV, New Now Next.
Nick patrols regular shifts on the weekends at the Hollymont Ski Resort.
How much screen time are you averaging per day? Amanda Oliver has the inside scoop on how much a student athlete is averaging.
Student athletes already have so much to balance in their schedule, from getting extra workouts in to meeting study hall requirements, and don't forget about finding time to eat. Even with most of their schedules being jam-packed, they still find time to enjoy their electronic devices. Emily Calabrese, a women's basketball player here, is averaging about 5 hours per day, leading her into averaging 35 hours per week, 140 hours per month, and 1,680 hours per year, showing that 20% of her year is spent on her electronic device. We located her averages on the Screen Time app that is found on iPhones with the iOS 12 update.
I'm here at the Riley Center at St. Bonaventure University, where many athletes work and train on a daily basis, including women's basketball player Emily Calabrese. We took an inside look into what Emily's day is usually like. Emily spends up to 5 hours in screen time a day. As we dove into her screen time activities, I asked her what her thoughts were on how much she was using.
I don't know. There's a lot of things I probably would do with that time because it's so much time. You don't even realize that it's like passing.
Emily also shared with us that she is going to make an effort to cut down her screen time, even if it's just a few minutes a day. Bringing you New Now Next, I'm Amanda Oliver, SBU-TV.
According to the Rewire.org, the average adult spends an estimate of 11 hours looking at a screen per day and checks their phone every 10 minutes.
Governor Cuomo's proposed 2019-2020 budget for the Arthur O.E. Higher Education Opportunity Program is down 17%. That's over $13 million for students enrolled in the program. I found out more. The Arthur O.E. Higher Education Opportunity Program, also known as HEOP, has 5,368 students enrolled in New York State and 77 at St. Bonaventure University this academic year. The program helps students by providing some of the financial and academic support to allow students to come to Bonaventure and support them during their time here. The proposed budget includes a 17% cut for opportunity programs, which would impact our HEOP program. Chris Brown, director of the program, explains why he is reaching out to the Bonaventure community.
So we are hoping that the campus community will contact their legislatures to encourage them to restore those cuts and even increase funding in the state budget for opportunity programs so that we can continue the work that we do with students here.
Earlier this month, Bonaventure students participated in the New York Student Aid Alliance Advocacy Day. Senior Andy Gonzalez went to the conference in Albany.
It was more of a, meeting the Assemblywoman Kathy Young over there because we want to increase TAP so that does not benefit me. Of course it benefits me, but it benefits everyone else because any financial help for anyone to achieve their dreams is a good way to go.
Bonaventure's HEOP program is asking for state legislators to restore the proposed budget cut and enhance funding for opportunity programs. Reporting for SBU-TV, I'm Maya Capolino. New Now Next. The link for contacting your representatives can be found on our Facebook page. Raising money through laughter, what student veterans on campus are working towards. Plus, the Bonnies just beat LaSalle. We'll have more from sports from Nick Gallo. SBU-TV, New Now Next.
Hi! Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Staring contest! You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included and I knew that I was going to be okay.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving. I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Welcome back. According to the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, about 30% of veterans suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. The Student Veteran Services here at St. Bonaventure started a trip to make the adjustment from military life easier. Aaron Lanahan tells us more about how they raise money for this special trip.
Rob Petrosello traveled to Assisi, Italy last year after serving in the U.S. Air Force. While it may look like your average vacation, he took part in a pilgrimage for student veterans. Now he's working to help fund other veterans to go on this trip. They chose Assisi as the destination because of its connection to our Franciscan school.
St. Francis was a veteran and he was a POW.
Similar to St. Francis's journey, this trip helps veterans readjust to life after the military.
There's a lot of veterans, they come back and they're just trying to find their way.
It costs just under $2,000 to send one veteran on this trip. To help raise money for it, Student Veteran Services at SBU are hosting a stand-up comedy night. I'm here outside the Allegheny American Legion, where on Saturday, 200 people are coming together to raise money to send veterans on a pilgrimage to Italy. Andrew Young served for 10 years in the Army and will be hosting the comedy show along with 2 other veterans. He's excited to recognize veterans and help them work towards healing.
When they transition out, it's very hard for them to find their place, where they belong, what they want to do. And a lot of them are still dealing with unresolved issues. So this whole show is to get them on a trip for healing to Italy.
Aaron Lanahan, SBU-TV, new, now, next.
And as of this morning, they've raised $2,500. Now, let's go over to Nick with sports.
Here we go. Here's Lofton working on Beatty. Lofton steps and pops from the free throw line.
Season. The Bonnies have dropped 4 straight. Rhode Island looking to break an 8-game skid. The inbound from Francis to Johnson. It's up and rattles around and in.
Thanks, guys, and good morning again. My name is Nicholas Scott, and welcome to your SBU-TV Sports, where sports happen here. We have an exciting list of highlights for you this week, with buzzer beaters, storylines, and what's to come up next for all bodies in local sports around the area. So let's get right to it with men's and women's basketball highlights.
Freshman point guard Kyle Lofton sank a jumper with 3 seconds left that gave the Bonnies a 62-60 win over the LaSalle Explorers last Wednesday night. The Bonnies will then head to the Rose Hill Gym to square off against Fordham Saturday at 4:30 p.m. It was senior night last Thursday as senior guard McKenna Maycock and the Bonnies would defeat the Rhode Island Rams 62-61 off an inbounding pass from Deja Francis to Asian Johnson to break the Bonnies' 4-game losing streak. It was the first game-winning basket under 2.5 seconds since Nyla Rudder layup against Penn State November 25th, 2014. The Bonnies will travel to the nation's capital to face off against George Washington Sunday at noon. Wednesday, the Atlantic 10 swimming and diving tournament started off as the Bonnies sit in third after day 2, trailing George Washington and George Mason. Swimming and diving will continue all today. You can check out the tournament on ESPN+. It is official. Former Bonnies guard Jalen Adams has signed a multi-year deal with the Atlanta Hawks. The contract will include $236,854 for this season. He's set to make just over $1.4 million in 2019 and 2020. $1,000 of the next year's salary is also guaranteed, as he gets the remainder as long as the Hawks don't waive him by July 19th.
Olean Senior High School has been known for its athletics for the past couple of years, specifically their basketball program. The men's team have currently won 78 consecutive home games and have also finished this regular season with 20 wins and 0 losses. They play their first playoff game Saturday night at 7:30 at Olean High School. So let's give a preview.
An undefeated season is on the line as a 20-0 Olean High School, led by a star guard Mike Schmidt, will be their first playoff game in the Section 6 tournament against Newfane High School. Olean is ranked third in the playoff bracket behind Lackawanna and Medina. Winner of this game will travel to Buffalo State for the semifinals. Thursday night, senior guard Sarah Pfeiffer led the Olean Huskies over Dunkirk 84-54. Pfeiffer would score 50 points to lead her team to Thursday's Section 6 Class B1 semifinals.
Thanks for tuning in for SBU-TV Sports, where sports happen here. Now back to you, Maya and Maddie.
Thanks, Nick. To stay updated with all things SBU TV, follow our social media accounts.
Be sure to check out our new SBU TV sports pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Madeline Edwards.
For SBU TV, bringing you new Now Next, I'm Maya Capolino. Have a fun and safe weekend.